there is a Khan in WWE. It's not related to Tony Khan, but it looks like we are about to have a McMahon that is related to Vince and Stephanie in AEW. Welcome to episode 155 of the TFW podcast. That's freaking wrestling. We are Three the Hard Way. I am Matt. There is Rhodesia. There is Eshan. We are the best kept secret in wrestling podcast. Thank you, Mr. Knight. Appreciate you. He's back. He's got to be back because he's got to win the U.S. title this weekend at SummerSlam. So we've been putting on for Mr. Knight. Mr. Knight been putting on for us. Shout out to Chad Gable, always representing the Freaks. He's done it now like 3 weeks in a row. We appreciate you. I just want to get right to it because time is of the essence. We got a huge show this weekend. We've talked about Shane McMahon in AEW a few weeks ago. A few pods ago, we talked about it. Kind of skimmed over a little bit. We think we kind of just did, big deal, little deal, no deal. We all said it was some type of deal. Picture hits the internet today.
What? Okay.
Tony Khan and Shane McMahon. The picture is taken as if it is a sneak picture, as if the picture ain't supposed to be taken. As if somebody walked up in the room, snapped the photo. They looked like, what the fuck? And then they went running. And they went on to social media, posted the picture. Even though it was a Russell Talk and Sean Sapp collaborative drop, like they dropping a hot mixtape back in the 90s or the 2000s on Dat Piff. Shout out to anybody who knows what I just talked about. You a real one. It looks like, ladies and gentlemen, there is about to be a McMahon in All Elite Wrestling. React.
So is this picture like right now on the internet? It's still floating on the internet?
It's still floating on Beyonce's internet.
Okay, I got to look this up. I mean, we talked about this a month ago. I am surprised that we're here. I guess I'm not surprised at the end of the day. Pro wrestling's pro wrestling, and you want to always one up the other competitor. I'm just surprised because Shane is willing to do that, and Vince is gone from WWE. So that's kind of my surprise part of it. Wow. Could it possibly be like AI and it be fake? I got to look at this picture. So maybe I'll let you go, and then I can try to look it up.
While she pulls the photo up, what's your thoughts, man? Like I said, we knew. So this is not new. Mercedes had made a comment. I forgot what publication she was talking to, and she made a comment about, reaching out to Shane or having a conversation with Shane. Like, hey, you should reach out to Tony Khan, have a conversation. So this part isn't new, but when we put eyes on it, it feels a little different, and it feels a little different in how the picture was taken, because the picture was taken as if we're not supposed to see the picture, but damn well we are supposed to see the picture. So when you saw that picture today, sir, what was your thoughts?
You know what I thought about immediately, man? I got to tell you the truth, man. I said, I don't want to see no more 50-year plus men jumping off nothing. I don't not know nothing, man. I don't want to see Shane back in anybody's ring jumping off. I don't want to see him jumping off the second rope. Keep your ass and feet on the mat, son. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, so I'm like, all right, if he can't be coming back in any kind of creative capacity or as a executive or anything like that, it got to be like talent related. And I love that, Shane loves wrestling. Like, you know what? I want to get into it. I want to go somewhere. I don't like how my last run finished in the E. Oh, I like that, in the E.
He's starting already.
But damn,
it's funny how this man used to talk to us about no freaky talk, and now every week he finds a way to get with the freaky shit. I mean, I respect it. I like it, but it's funny how tables turn.
I don't know what you're talking about, sir. But I just I don't really want to see him in the ring like that, to be honest with you. I would like to see him in the company in some kind of capacity, in a positive way. But do you want to see it in the ring, Matt?
No.
Matt already said this a month ago. He said, I don't want to see you at all as a talent.
No, this is, yes, to pay something off, physicality, match, 100%. Yes. If he comes in as just a talent, Absolutely not. And I mean talent in terms of in the ring. I don't want to see that. Could they have some fun matches? Of course they can. Rhodesia, before I get
Shane,
to...
no Shane versus MJF or Shane versus Will Ospreay?
I'm not... They have an opportunity here. They have an opportunity to do what I've been saying they need for months now. And they have an opportunity to do what they've needed for over a year now. And that is to have a massive, major storyline that can change the course of that company. And I'm talking only from a viewership, live attendance, weekly live attendance, not PLEs or pay-per-views. You know, they're going to probably get 50K out and all in, which is tremendous.
Sure.
So as much as we talk about a lot of these shows, only 2-3 top 1,000 people, maybe 4,000, they're going back to Wembley. They're getting 50K. I don't give a damn if they gave away tickets for $10. You're getting 50,000 people in one spot. You're doing something right. Okay. I digress on that part, but we've talked about consistently. They need to know how to do TV. They need to build up stars. They need to have a hot wrestling storyline that is going to get people to tune in. The Incredible Wrestling is not going to do it. If that was the case, they would be arguably beating a WWE in the ratings if it was about just wrestling. It's not. They have an opportunity to bring Shane McMahon in and do something revolutionary that would get people talking, that a McMahon is in All Elite Wrestling and he's here either to take over, he's here and he's taking certain talent. Maybe it's all the old WWE guys and girls. And he's like, look, y'all thought NWO was something? Watch what we do. They have an opportunity. But if they bring him out as just a wrestler, but he's still a McMahon in AEW, and I'm here to be one of the boys, or whatever that may look like, they may pop a rating for 1 week. They may pop a rating for 1 week. And then we're status quo after that. That cannot happen. This needs to be, because this is their only, realistically, this is it in regards to any chance of them getting back to 1 million viewers, them getting back to something where it is must-see television on Wednesdays. This is the only thing. It's him, somehow Triple H, Vince McMahon.
Said Dirty Vince.
Dirty ass
and
Vince.
Maybe
Dirty ass Vince.
That's it.
Mm-hmm.
That's it. And we know Tony Khan is smart. The guy may be, semi-genius, however you want to look at that on that spectrum. His family's smart. They have money. He has to know. And then when they leaked the picture, now that was when I was like, okay, you know what? This changes the game. Because you're putting that picture out there. Shane's coming in. That picture cannot come out and then nothing happens out of this. So now we know, okay, Shane's going to come in. What does that look like? Is it maybe he comes in and him and Tony are partners in something? And then that partnership turns, of course, into, once again, like Shane's team against AEW's team. And maybe the blow off is next year's Blood and Guts. And we do Blood and Guts in the stadium. There was rumors about them hitting Dallas next year. Holy hell, would that be incredible? And then that's where we see Shane in a match, E. And that's when Shane jumps off the top of the cage or whatever. You give him that moment because it's Shane McMahon. Shane's got to do a crazy spot. Hopefully his quad is wherever that show is going to be at and still not in Los Angeles.
I forgot about that.
Rest in peace to his quad. We were there for that.
Man.
But so that's my thoughts. Rhodesia, you've seen the picture now, I'm guessing.
Yeah, so, okay. This picture looks like it was not supposed to be taken. It almost looks like Shane is reprimanding Tony already. So if you're talking about a partnership, I mean, like, just everything about this photo, like I said, it looks like it's Photoshop. But again, Sean Ross Sapp posted it. But looking at this, Shane looks pissed off for you taking this picture of him. My mind is just kind of blown right now. Like, Tony looks like he doesn't know if he's here or there or everywhere. Wow. this is, in my mind, I kind of feel like I don't like this coming out. I don't like this being leaked. And we talked about this before. Like, I'm okay with him saying big announcements. I'm okay with him. I'm not as critical as you are when he would put something on the Twitter for this Friday or Rampage, like ahead of time, not letting things just organically get, pop during the show so that I have to tune in, right? Because your whole beef for the last couple years is like, you're telling everything that's happening ahead of time. If I don't care about those people, I'm not going to tune into your show. Do something to where I can come. Give me just enough so I can come and watch your show. I'm usually like, no, Matt, that's okay, because they're trying to still get new viewers in. They're just trying to get new viewers in. I'm okay with doing that. This I don't like, because it feels like they leaked this on their own. And I don't like that, because if we could have got Shane out of nowhere, then that would, I think, be even more newsworthy. Even though Mercedes mentioned it a while ago, that right there kind of just makes me feel like now it's about whenever he shows up is going to be just anticlimactic for me.
All right, E, let's go with that. E, picture wasn't supposed to come out. They did not leak it. Shane didn't leak it. Tony Khan didn't leak it. It is a legit leak of a photo from a meeting that those two had. Now what? Now what do you do if that is literally the case?
I like the leak because I think it gets people talking about the company, and more than just the AEW audience to me. Because like if he were just to pop up on the show with like no anticipation, like okay, people could maybe go back to see that previous show or the next show, but now it's just like some buzz going around the company, for me. But Matt, you mentioned something about like creatively, right? Because here's the thing: Tony has great ideas. There's some ideas that I was made aware of that were originally his that I was blown away. Like, oh, Tony Storm character. Oh, the Minute of the Year character. There was another one, man. I keep slipping who it was, but Tony Khan played a big factor in that, right? So we know this man has ideas. It's all right. Once the idea is there, like, what's he do with that? What's next? What's the week to week look like? What's the next month look like? Right. And that's the problem with it. Right. So if you bring in Shane McMahon, like he's going to get that pop coming in. Right. Big deal. But then after a while, it's like, what are you doing there? Like, why should I care? How is AEW audience going to embrace him? Because if you look at the history right now, AEW, they'll cheer you when you first come in. Right. But they don't like you after a while. Like they all about their homegrown guys that's been there. Like, right. They don't really embrace a lot of talent that's came from WWE or elsewhere. Like, right. So after a while, if he's coming in there like trying to call shots, like, man, you ain't even go here 2 weeks ago. Like, right. And they'll start throwing that dude quick. Right.
Mm-hmm.
So we're talking about the fans or the people or the talent?
I'm talking about both. I'm talking about the fans.
Okay,
I'm talking about the fans, right?
Both of them.
I'm talking about them fans, right? So, what does that look like? Tony Khan bringing him in to take over the company. Like, why did you bring him in the first place? If he like that's making Tony Khan look even more dumb. Like, right, this dude come in and within a short amount of time, he's grasping the company from you. Like for me, I would, and he can't do it, right? I think it'd be more shocking he'd come on here and say, hey, AEW, I love wrestling. Like F Vince, FWWE, AEW. I feel like that would be a big thing just for a short term, and they can build from there. But it'll come down to, you talk about story. Like, I don't have the confidence that they can build a cohesive, solid, long-term story. Can I put together a basic wrestling scenario? Yeah, they can. But what you're talking about, what you're outlining, I don't see that they have anything resembling like the ability to be able to tell a strong story like that.
Well, the ability would be Shane, right? Shane's been around for some of the biggest storylines and
not creatively. Like Shane, I mean, you think about Stephanie was the creative guy. Shane don't know how to tell a story like that.
Well, I'm saying he was around it. Like, I'm sure he's in the room with Pritchard, and that's what I'm saying. Like, no, he didn't. That wasn't him, but he knows what that looks like.
He had exposure to that.
So if he knows what that looked like, yeah. Another story they could go with is Shane's the GM, right, or whatever.
Mm-hmm. Isn't Christopher Danielson that?
Man, and that's not
Get
working.
fire him. Fire him.
All the
Fire
love
him.
to Daniels, a legend in the sport.
Thank you.
That's not working.
CD, thank you.
Thank you for everything you've done.
Like,
it ain't working. Nobody cares.
Please go sit in the corner.
They could do something to where now Shane's the GM or whatever you want to call it. He's the the main president of AEW on TV, and he starts making these tweaks that makes the company a lot like WWE, and it's intentional tweaks. So he's doing it for heel heat, but he's not overly coming across. But all of a sudden, you just see little things. You're like, yo, that reminds me of like old school WWF or WWE. And week after week, it just gets to be a little too much, right? And then Tony tries to take his company back, and then, of course, Shane can do something to the effect of, you got to read your contracts better. When we sign on it, you know what I mean? Like, they can really, but that's what is going to happen for this to matter. Because I was ready to come on this podcast. I'll never forget. I had it in my notes. Week after Mercedes debuted, I had a topic that I had to shelve a week later because the follow-up was shit. And the topic was AEW has made more moments than WWE in the last 4 years. And I was going to go to Adam Cole and Bryan debuting the same night. I was going to go to the CM Punk and MJF feud. I was going to go to Mercedes debuting.
Punk coming back.
The
fight.
Well, that don't count.
That does count. But still.
That wasn't intentional.
Edge or Adam Copeland. I still think that they've had bigger moments. Now you compare that to what WWE had was finishing the story. Now, of course, that is just like
so
stars.
This was before that. But the reason why I shelved it was because the moment may have been great, but nothing came out of the moment.
Right.
Where WWE would give you a moment, and either it's a moment that you can pinpoint of when something started, when something changed, or when something was over.
It was more impactful.
And it just wasn't. I was like, fuck, I got to shelve it now because it's going to come across like, what the hell are you talking about? But I was ready to have that. So this would be one of those moments again where you look at it and you say, oh my God, Shane McMahon is in AEW. Get all the holy shit chants and whatever else hell is frozen over, any and everything. But it's got to be what that follow-up is.
What AEW need, man?
Last thing real quick, and I'll give it to you. I'm going to hope Tony Khan. Now, if this was not leaked, say that is a legit photo of two guys who was having a conversation on what if and what happens, and somebody went in there, snapped that photo, they out of here. I mean, of course, Tony knows who took the photo. They gotta be gone. So I guess if we find out somebody got terminated next couple of days, we know it was real.
Probably Malachi Black. He's like, I want to get out of my contract.
Doing anything to get out of his contract. God bless. Hopefully now he knows, okay, because Tony's going to do what's best for the fans. We know that to a fault. Tony says, all right, Shane, we got to make it work now. This is our shot. This is our shot to take the momentum back from WWE as much as we can anyway. Roman's about to come back. Cody is still on a tear. Punk is about to make his in-ring return. Like, Rhea's back. So it's to a certain extent, they'll be able to take some of that momentum. But hopefully he knows, all right, we got to do something that is long-lasting, that we have our end goal, we got our end game, we have the middle part of this, and then we have the beginning, and it's all fleshed out. If we need to add some wrinkles between here and there, week to week, month to month, cool. But we know, okay, where is this ending at? Is it a year from now? Is it 2 years from now? Is it 16 months from now? Unfortunately, if it's 6 months from now, okay, what does that look like? And then map it. And don't deviate from it. Whatever happens, don't deviate from what that is. And I think we got a chance to have something special. But if Shane comes in and it does not move the needle in any metric, nothing will.
Well, we know for the short term it definitely will. But I was going to say, you know what AEW needs? Because I just don't. We've known of Shane for what, like 30 years or something like that. Like I lost count. He's been around for a long time, and we haven't really heard like, oh, you know what, Shane he's that creative guy. Like we've heard actually the contrary. Like, right? There's a reason why I guess Stephanie was like the next in line and he wasn't. Right. And I think that was the issue, quote unquote, from the dirt sheets. They need a young Vince Russo with good ideas. Or mostly good ideas. They need a great writer, right? Because like what Tony Khan does, he has great ideas. He has great ideas for gimmicks and characters. He needs a person or two that can come in and like, okay, hey, this is my vision. And that guy that can come in and like pencil that in.
And write it for TV. Write it for TV.
For TV, exactly, right? Because that's what Ed Ferrara was for them back in the day. He was a TV guy. Like, right? They need that next guy, maybe that wrestling fan that's going on to write and, you know, outside of wrestling, that actually have a feel for wrestling, but actually has a background in writing and TV writing. Somebody can come in and Tony Khan can stand in front of and he can say, hey, these are my ideas. These are what I want to do. And this person can come in and he can be the person that can help them map it. I just don't feel like they have anybody in that company right now that can do that on a consistent basis because we haven't seen it yet. The shows have gotten better. The stories are there. But when you look at the stories, they're very simplistic. And the way they're doing them, they're not raising hell with their stories. There's nothing that people are going to be talking about. So if Shane comes in there, man, they got to have a great story in line for him. And they need to bring somebody else in. Hey, Mercedes brought her girl in to help her with her stuff. Shane, bring one of his guys in. Like, right, that Tony can trust, they can rely on, and they can get these stories fleshed out.
I have done my investigation. I have dissected this photo.
Uh-oh.
This photo has nothing to do with the product we're going to see on TV. If you look at this photo clearly, it actually looks like Shane is presenting to Tony because he has like a blue dry eraser marker in his hand. I think this is just a business deal. So even if this is a business deal where he's never going to be in a ring, he's never going to give input about what we see product on the TV. Okay. The way that this photo looks is like he was just presenting and telling Tony exactly where we can go from here and here. He's a businessman. Now I was trying to look up all the different businesses that he owns, but I think this is purely a business decision or a business meeting. And of course, everybody would say it's a business meeting, but I mean outside of the actual wrestling. I'm going to go with that. I'm going to say that we may not even really see him. This is something else that we won't see. Maybe he's trying to get him to how to go public. This could be a situation of how it would look.
I don't know.
No, I mean, and that is a valid point, a valid
look at the
observation that's possible. We know Shane has his own companies. It could be something, with international or whatever. But I do think now that photo has leaked, now you got to make it on screen somehow.
TV.
Now you got to do that. You got to do that. I'll be interested to see if by any chance ratings go up for Dynamite this week because of this. By some chance that people think that Shane's going to show up. I don't think so. I think they know Tony would hit us with a major surprise or
we know you will.
Major
the
announcement.
Greatest announcement in life is he going to come out
type
with
thing. But this is also one of those, man, what a time to be a fan in pro wrestling. I was watching NXT on Tuesday. And didn't watch it on Tuesday. I watched it yesterday. Right?
I think yesterday is Tuesday. I think yesterday was Tuesday.
These days are just... Yeah. When did I watched it? Oh, no. I watched it last night. These days are running. My bad, guys. And Roxanne, they're just putting on like a match of the year candidate just on like free TV out of nowhere. Like nobody thought they would have a match of the year candidate. And you could argue that was that. And I'm just like, man, look at the embarrassment of riches that we're tuning in to watch NXT and we're getting a hell of a match. I don't know if you want to go 5 stars, 4.5, whatever that is. SummerSlam on Saturday. And this photo leaks. And it's just like, it is never like a boring day or a week being a wrestling fan now. It's just, it's awesome. It's awesome to see. And look, it's not slowing down anytime soon. So y'all got anything else on the Shane, Tony Khan thing before we wrap it?
No.
But I will say though, Matt, man, you brought up NXT. That's a really nice show to watch, man. It's a really nice show to watch. I wouldn't say if you have time, if you're not watching NXT and you got 2 hours in your week to fit some wrestling in, I definitely think you should watch it, NXT. I don't think they're blowing anybody away over there, but it's such a pleasant experience to watch it.
If you are listening to a wrestling podcast like this, 100%, because you already know what you're going to go into it and see. I can see 30% of WWE fans turn into NXT and like, what is this? I'm good. You know, some of the backstage segments, some of the promos.
That Ethan Page contract signing. Oh my God. I'm like, you digress like from when you were on AEW.
But then you get diamonds in the rough segments through those. I mean, it's just a fun show. Like it's what wrestling should be. Overall.
It's like don't take life serious show.
Correct.
That's exactly what it is.
Exactly. 100%. Speaking of not taking things so seriously, Ishan, I got a hilarious text message yesterday. I actually had a lot of comments this past week. It was about you, sir. It's about you and your John Cena rant and the tangent you went on. We still got to get that up on socials. Can't put it on Twitter because John Cena follows us, and I would hate for him to see that and block us. But my guy Rich, who longtime listener to the pod, appreciate you, Rich. Hope everything's going all good. He sent me a text message. In the text message, it was a YouTube clip. YouTube clip was from WWE Super Showdown from 2018.
Okay.
Clip was John Cena breaks out 6th move of doom.
Good stuff, Rich.
His text to me was, I need E to watch this again. I responded and said, man, he went crazy on the legend. Rich said, I was driving home from work. That was nuts. And he said, and then he forgot about the 6th move. So
Rich pulled a receipt.
I am going to send you this YouTube video clip after the podcast. I need you to get the memory of the 6th move that he was doing. Because you was talking down bad on the legend even earlier today in the text message.
Still talking bad.
Still talking down bad on him. So I just want you to know, man, your rant was making waves out here in these streets.
I bet that 6th move was probably worse than the other 5 moves. God damn, that was want me to have a bad night.
Triple down and on this.
He did, didn't he?
Jesus. Hey, but he a good movie actor though, man. Let me tell you. He may got some shitty wrestling moves, man, but you know what? But he on that big screen.
So can I ask a question?
Woo!
And I didn't watch during this time. And I'm separating the art from the person. But didn't Hogan only have like 4 moves? I know he could wrestle. I think Matt showed me something from Hogan a while. It was like probably before like WWF even was a real thing. And he was going in the ring. And I was like, I can't believe like I'm actually saying this about Hogan. But the Hogan that I would imagine most of us fell in love with, didn't he only have like 4 or 5 moves?
Rhodesia, I was like 6 years old watching Hulk Hogan. You think I was talking about work ethic and maneuvers back then?
Okay, so then when he stopped wrestling, full time about 20 years ago? Probably a little bit longer than that. You were an adult by that time. So how did you feel about him then?
I wasn't talking about Hulk Hogan match. I'll tell you that. I wasn't talking about Hulk Hogan.
But he only had like 5 moves though, right?
We weren't talking about Hulk Hogan matches. And I ain't call him the greatest of all time either.
I didn't, for sure. But I'm saying that's the point. So John Cena, like, you can't be putting disrespect on that man's name. No, yeah, he was not a crazy lethal arsenal.
So don't give me a bad wrestler and compare him to another bad wrestler. I don't know what we're talking about here.
So then to answer my question.
And then also, right. I don't like Hulk Hogan.
So Ishan,
I don't like Hulk Hogan.
So to answer my question, because you never answered my question, is that yes, Hogan probably only had an arsenal of about 5 moves as well. That was my only question to you. You avoided it twice. And then now you trying to get hyped and say you're not going to compare one bad to another bad.
Here's what happens, Matt, when Rhodesia and I go with, I have no idea what point you're making because I don't care about the 5. I don't like the man. I don't care who has 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 moves. It don't matter how many moves they got. I don't like them. Ever. 6 moves, 7 moves, 10 moves.
You know what I don't like? I don't like how you can't answer a damn question.
What was the question? He had 5. You want me to confirm he had 5 moves?
Yes.
Sure, Rhodesia.
Thank you.
But what
Thank
does that
you.
what does that answer do for you? What point does that make for you? I don't know. That's what I'm trying to figure
You're
out.
trying to compare, like talking about John Cena, saying that he's trash, but Hogan
Trash,
completely
Rhodesia.
still
Trash.
still trash, but he completely ran pro wrestling. John Cena ran pro wrestling, so you talk down on their names.
That's not my point
No,
about who would everybody else like. Y'all can like who y'all like. He
but
made money.
I think
He
Eshaun,
made
you
lots
missing
of
my
money.
point here. I think you're missing my point here. And all
I
you're doing is
am.
talking louder
I am.
just to try to get over or whatever you're doing. All I'm saying is that you can't sit up here and compare John Cena saying he had 5 moves of doom, but so did his predecessor, 5 moves of doom, and
Okay.
he put wrestling on the map.
But I didn't say John Cena didn't put people on the map, which is where I don't know what we're talking about. I never say he didn't.
What I'm saying is that he is a great wrestler. Talking about John Cena. I'm not talking about technical. We didn't see that in the ring, but as far as what he contributed to the actual industry, people knew about John Cena. He was responsible for running and keeping the company on his back. Now, we know in this version of the eras of wrestling, we got your Roman Reigns who catapulted it to a whole nother level. But he was responsible for it. So you can't just disrespect him because he only had 5 moves.
So
He
Rhodesia,
didn't do more than 5 moves.
You're arguing a point that I'm not trying to make. I'm not talking about what he did for you as a fan or his contribution or even Hogan's. I'm saying personally for me, his 5 moves are doing horrible.
I asked the question. You can't say what you're trying to get across. I just asked you a question, and you never answered the question. Not until you said 5, Rhodesia, 5.
Okay, I don't know. Man, let's move on. I don't know what we even talking about.
I don't either because I'm not paying attention because Samantha Irvin just broke the internet.
What'd she do?
Oh.
The haters was talking about her and she said, wait until you see tonight's Hump Day Dump. People definitely going to be salty. And I see tonight's Hump Day Dump.
Is it pictures?
It's definitely a picture.
Oh.
So thank you, Samantha Irvin. Samantha Irvin's also another friend of the show. We appreciate you. We love you for everything you've done. So I missed all of that. I'll listen to the pod and see what you guys are ranting and raving about. I had bigger fish to fry. But I know we can go on to SummerSlam. And we got that this Saturday. We will be doing our review show on Sunday. So you guys will have our thoughts on Sunday after we watch the second biggest show, or E saying the 7th biggest show of the year, SummerSlam. Looking at this card, I'll tell you what, there's a lot of, Triple H's races because there's not a black person on the card. Saw that a lot.
Ooh.
Yeah, he's sexist because the women's tag team match is not on the card. Saw that. I can't remember what else I saw, but this show only has singles matches unless they add Ilya Dragunov to, which I think CBSSports.com thinks it's a triple threat match because that is what their preview was saying. It's a triple threat match. That hasn't been officially announced anywhere that we've seen, but this is all just one-on-one matches. I can't remember the last time we've had just one-on-one matches on like a major WWE pay-per-view like this, if like ever that I can remember.
Well, you kind of got Seth.
He is a referee.
You think he's going to you're going to call it just straight down the middle?
Well, no, he told you as much as he wasn't.
Right. He said, I'm going to count the way I want to count.
I didn't understand that promo. I tweeted something about it on Monday, and I'm like, if the point of that promo was to make him look like a heel, then maybe mission accomplished. Other than that, he came across as so unlikable. Like, I walked away knowing the match is going to be fantastic, but I'm like, I just want like Drew and Punk to team up and beat his ass. I didn't get it.
I see what you're saying. Now that you say that out loud, but isn't this one of the ones too where you're going to have, there's really no true face or heel in this match. It's going to be kind of just your preference of what side you're on. So I think that I could give that kind of a pass, having Seth not being, well, I mean, I guess he was clearly defining that he's a heel, but he also was just like, no, I'm just going to be me. To me, I feel like that match, it was already a tweeners. It's a match of tweeners.
Okay. But should the referee basically say what he said and he's a face?
If it's supposed to be a triple threat, and it's not a triple threat, but he's making it sound like he's going to be the third person in the ring who's going to have his own mind, his own purpose, his own goals. Then if you already have 2 tweeners, what's the third?
Yeah, it was a weird segment. Not necessarily weird. It's just It's like you got three men in a ring just arguing for no reason. Like, I guess they got a reason, but at some point, I mean, at CM Punk had the right idea. Like, man, I'm just gonna step out of the ring. You know, I can't fight. I'm gonna sit over here. I'm gonna do my thing. Then Seth like, yo, no, bring your ass back up in here. You're gonna stand in my ring, and you're gonna do this. Like, it just was I don't know. It was interesting enough. Right, I watched the entire thing. Right, I kept my eyes on it. I wasn't distracted or doing anything else. So I mean, you have that to say for it, but it definitely was a weird segment.
It was a segment to where there was some legit animosity between two of them, maybe three of them. But we got to work together. We're going to work together. We're going to make money. We're going to turn it into entertainment because we're professionals. But you absolutely could tell, like, oh, yeah, y'all don't really rock with each other. Y'all ain't sending Christmas cards with each other. Y'all ain't on the same tour buses heading from city to city. And that's fine. Like, I'm good with that.
But
So
do you
y'all
have a problem with him constantly talking about his dressing? Like, to me, I think that's getting really, really stale. Talking about Punk calling out Seth and what he had on.
I mean, that his gear is ass though. I mean, you gotta call a spade, huh?
You don't think he had that shit on?
Like it is. Hey, look, he looked like a clown. Like, right? So I mean, you gotta call a clown.
But it seems like he's always calling him out for being almost like a cross-dresser. I don't know. I think I take a little bit of offense to that.
You take offense to it because of CM Punk doing it.
Maybe against Seth too.
Because you didn't say one word when Roman said it in their build and Mania. You actually laughed at it.
I did but CM Punk has said it now like 3 or 4 times.
Because Seth keeps looking like
he's in the feud with him. Yeah, I mean, I'm like,
oh no, but it's stale.
You can't.
I don't think it's stale. Now, what I will say is, I didn't have a problem with how he dressed, but should he look like he's taking this seriously? I would say so.
But maybe he will wear a regular ref.
But if you are in this type of feud, which is damn near a blood feud, you can't stand Punk at all. You know, he said him and Drew got professional. They just want to be the best, and then one of them switching like, no, I hate you too. I don't like you either. Should he really be wearing what he's wearing?
But this is just a build. This
y'all
build
know
the show.
how I like Kendrick said about Drake. I don't like Drake when he talk tough. I like him with the melodies, right? I like Seth when he's more serious. Seth with the high heels or the blouses, I can take it or leave it. Give me the real burn it down, rebuild, reclaim Seth Rollins we had from years ago. That's my lane of Seth. But if he wants to do it, hey, it's all good. We know how this is ending anyway. Drew getting this win. Drew getting this win, and it's because Seth intentionally, unintentionally, we're gonna have to decide what that looks like. Cost Punk the match. That's what I'm here for anyway. It may not happen, but that's what I want to happen.
And then what does Drew do after that?
Somehow fuck up a next title shot. I don't know how. I don't know. He's gonna keep finding ways to lose. And I'm only going off because Punk said, as long as I'm breathing, you're not winning the championship. And typically, baby faces don't lie.
It's a very intriguing match because it can go like multiple ways. I don't think you can look at this match and be like, all right, I know definitely it's going this way. It can go a plethora of different ways. And I think that's what makes it very interesting. I think it's probably one of the most interesting matches on the card, to be honest with you, just because you just can't really guess where it's going.
This is my main event for sure. Is Punk actually the face?
You could.
I would say he's positioned 100%. Right? He's positioned. Yeah, he's positioned as a face.
Yep. I mean, if you wanted to, you could absolutely make a case that he's a heel.
Mm-hmm.
But
we're here because he's a heel. We're here because all the times he screwed Drew over.
But he did it because of Drew. That was all Drew's doing. That's what. So if you had somebody, if you were trying to do counterpoint, say if you were like, hey, I'm taking the side of CM Punk is a heel, I would beat you with, but CM Punk's a face because of blah blah blah.
It was always a retort or a reaction to what Drew did.
Yep, always. Yep. So you said this is your main event.
Mm-hmm.
Is this your main event? Is this the match you're most looking forward to?
Of course not.
What's yours?
Why you say it like that?
Of course not.
What is
Do not
yours?
tell me you about to go Cody and Solo.
For the most prestigious
What?
championship
way.
of all of wrestling isn't the main event on the second biggest show of the year?
Your main event, not the main event. We know that's going on last. Your main event, the match you're most looking forward to over anything else in this card, is to see Cody Rhodes and Solo, huh?
Absolutely.
I'd rather see Priest over Gunther.
Stick to the gimmick. I love that. Stick to the gimmick. Well, let's go with that match then right now. Solo and Cody. Tell us why you are so looking. Honestly, tell us why you are so looking forward to Cody and Solo for the title.
Y'all hate for Cody just has no bounds. It's crazy.
It's equal to yours and John Cena's and Roderick Strong. We can go at this all day.
No way.
No, we can't really.
I was
No
off
way.
today,
No,
so
we can't
I
really.
got the energy. I got the time today, baby.
Well,
I can't call you baby.
Yeah, we only got 20 minutes. So
Oh, okay.
Y'all can.
Okay.
You know what you
Save
can
it
do?
for next episode.
You know
Save
it would
it
be
for-
great. Yeah, as soon as we done with this, press record. Y'all fight just 1-on-1. We release it as like a special edition. Get the
But they
numbers
gotta
up
pay
on
for
that.
it. They gotta pay for that though.
Correct.
Right?
It would be no. Hey, look, I'll hang up on Rhodesia. I wasn't talking. I don't even know what she was arguing about earlier. I'm not gonna go around in a circle.
I will show up in his house.
I wouldn't answer the door. I'll go to bed.
Don't worry. I will find a way to get in that house. And I'm gonna knock at that door.
I refuse to argue about stuff I don't even know what we're talking about. But so me personally, I like the bloodline. I like this incarnation of the bloodline.
Mm-hmm.
I like Joseph Fatu. I like the whole thing they doing. And of course, Cody is my guy, and it's for the championship. And every week, Solo has been calling out Roman Reigns. Almost every week, he's been calling this man out. Like, he's been saying this man's name for a reason. Like, so I'm hoping that we get to see Roman Reigns involved in this match in some type of way. So with the unknown, right? And we don't know for sure if he's going to be in the building or he's going to be involved in this match, but there's a high chance that he is, right? That we're going to see that payoff with Roman Reigns appearing in this match. Maybe they hold it off for another time, but that's there. But just the fact of the matter, you got Cody Rhodes, the biggest face in the company, against seemingly right now the biggest heel in Solo. Like, where's that go? Because in addition to that, the winner of this match is we can start now having bigger conversations about where's this lead for WWE's future. Like, right? If we get a Solo win, right, that'll be a huge, in my opinion, upset that Solo can beat Cody. Right. So what does that talk about the trajectory of the future matches that we're going to have on pay-per-views? Right now, are we going to see a Solo versus a Roman? Like, right. And then what's that match going to look like? All right. We were hoping that we're going to get a Cody versus a Rock. Right. If he doesn't have the championship, what does that match look like? Because now the belt collector, that type of stipulation or thing won't be in play. Right. So for me, it's just like, all right, what's going to happen in this match? Like, who's going to be involved in this match? And the possibilities of endings are like grand to me. I think I'm very interested to see who wins this and how it goes and how it plays out.
To that last point you mentioned, that's why I can't imagine Solo winning. I just can't. I cannot see that this is the time to derobe, to take off the title off of Cody, the Golden Child, by Solo. It would almost feel like to me right now how Solo is built, at least in my fandom for him right now, like that was done in vain. These last 4 years was all done in vain. I just don't think Solo is quite there yet to be the person to take that belt off of Cody that Roman couldn't do.
It would feel like a, not a failure, but it would be a failed run for Cody if he lost.
To Cody,
yeah.
Yep.
So that can't happen. If it wasn't Cody Rhodes, could it happen? Absolutely. Absolutely. And this is a completely different conversation. But my main event is Rhea and Liv because of the TV time they've had and how as much as I've enjoyed this storyline. But I'm looking forward to this match. I'm looking forward from a inside baseball perspective to really see Solo in his first main event of a massive pay-per-view. I'm looking forward to that for him. I'm super happy for him. Proud of him of how far he's come with that. I'm looking to Cody to give as much heat to Solo during that match as he can and try to make Solo as much as he can. And of course, I'm looking for the Roman Reigns return. They have such an opportunity here too with telling the story with Roman. And they got so many different ways. And I'm just like so excited to see. I know months ago when I said it, people probably thought I was like full of shit. And they're like, whatever, Matt, you don't know what you're talking about. When I said that this next chapter of the story is going to be better than the first part of it while he was champion. Because remember, he's still a free agent. We automatically assume he's on SmackDown because that's where the bloodline's at. He is a free agent. What if he goes to Raw first and try to get Jay before even touching foot on SmackDown? That could be a story. Like, it's just so many ways they can go about this. And I'm really excited to see, and I'm hoping that it happens. It starts at SummerSlam. I really do. I hope they don't push it off and try to wait to have him appear. I'm hoping that we get him Saturday night at the end of that show, and now we're off and running toward War Games for Survivor Series. That's my hope. And I think everybody in attendance is probably expecting Roman. And you said something that was interesting too, and this is also wrestling logic, like one-on-one. You said, man, Solo's been calling Roman's name. He's been saying Roman's reign every single week. I don't think he said it for the last 2 weeks. And even that is like, okay, he's really close to being here because he stopped kind of saying his name. So I'm ready for it. I'm here for it. Like I said, not my main event. I'm excited for the match. There's not one match on this card where I'm like iffy on, or I'm like, I don't know about it. I'm excited for every single match, but that's probably, for me, that's probably, if it wasn't for Roman, it's probably like fourth.
Mm-hmm.
Because it's Roman, it's second for me, behind Liv and Rhea.
I'm telling you, I'm not ready to see Roman yet. I'm just not. And I know that's so weird being Roman, my favorite wrestler. I feel like maybe because I'm not fully engaged in this Bloodline 2.0 story, because just like, your Marvel people, after phase 3 was done, or 2 that was done, Endgame was done, the next phase is kind of, you lost a lot of the Marvel people because we knew that attrition, hey, they're not going to probably follow along. I just feel like I'm not ready to bring the savior back. And I'm not trying to be blasphemous here, but I'm not ready for the savior to come back yet, because I don't feel like enough hell has happened for us to warrant that back. Kind of like I don't want Solo winning, because I don't feel like Solo is a villain enough in my own fandom to take it off of Cody. So I know everybody's expecting Roman, but I just personally don't feel like it's time for Roman to come back yet. Maybe he might just come, like you said, just for the match and maybe do some interference, and then maybe he might go just to Raw, and that we don't have to really see him, fighting Solo every week at that point. But I'm just not ready for him yet.
Reminder, Bloodline took out Jimmy, who was with Roman last time we saw him. Bloodline took out Paul Heyman, who was with Roman last time we saw him. And Solo got the red necklace, as he calls it. You can't do much more than that.
That's true.
I just want to say, I was like,
That's
what more can you do at this point? You
it
said raise hell.
Yeah.
Aside from winning the world championship. Now, I don't think that, well, I hope he doesn't do it, because as you said, man, I think that that's too soon for Cody to lose championship. Like, I feel like that would derail him, and I think that company a little bit, because I feel like they need like a hero. Like, right, they had Cena before, they had Stone Cold and The Rock in the past. Like, this is this generation's like hero, like, right? And I feel like they will really do a disservice by taking the belt off of them this soon. But at the same time, though, but again, it's a possibility. You never know what can happen, like, right? But I feel like Roman, like Solo, if he like, this is a great time for Roman to come back, right? To stop like more damage to happen. Because if he get the championship, like, maybe Roman comes back like,
it's over. And to your point, the Bloodline is fighting for the tag team championships on SmackDown Friday.
Yep.
Against DIY. Do we think they win the tag team titles? They would have to, right?
They would have to in that.
Oh, well,
I mean, you can't have them lose. You can't have them lose that
unless
match.
we get some interference, right? Unless we get like Randy Orton and KO, and they come back and they distract them. It could be something like that, right?
Yeah. But
then
say like a return.
But at the same time, if they come back that soon, like, right, on that show, like, for Cody's match, because he's going in this match right now, like, with no help. All his people is gone.
Right.
Like, right. and he has this bloodline lurking around the ring, right? Putting like attention on his championship reign. So like if they were to come back on SmackDown, that kind of take away from that. Or maybe they bring him back and we don't see Roman at SummerSlam, and that's who helps him retain on SummerSlam.
I just changed my answer again. And I just completely forgot what you had said a couple weeks ago. When we talk about a family, tribe, and this goes back to because we watched last night something on like the National Geographic Channel was about lions versus cheetahs, and everything that they did was for their family. So if everything is for their family, wouldn't you want to keep the championships in your family? Now you can go and battle for being the alpha, the leader of the pack, but wouldn't you want your family to have the championship? What if Roman comes back and interferes, spears Cody, and Solo wins it? And now we're off on the story. Okay, now I'm about to come and challenge you, Solo, to take it back. But wouldn't you want to have it in your family?
No, I was from a shady family member that took out my brothers, right? Because like the Jimmy and Jay, like they're his cousins, but they're like brothers to him.
But what about
right?
tribal, like going to like just the animal instinct? Like you would want it within your family.
Maybe not if you have somebody who's talking down on the family and you feel like he's doing it the wrong way.
Yeah.
Because even if you think about when Jimmy and Jay broke up and Jimmy super kicked Jay, right? He cost him the match at SummerSlam, and which was we came on here and shit trashed that match. We were all of us was there live. He said, because I don't want you turning into him, talking about Roman Reigns. That was what Jimmy said to Jay. Where now Solo has turned into an even worse Roman Reigns because he's got that power. So, but
it's still in the family, though. It was still in the family.
I said 2 weeks ago, and he told me it was my worst idea in history.
Oh, the spirit of Cody.
I told you. But the thing was, other thing you could do too is Roman could come and lay both of them out and made it best man win. I don't think you do that because I don't want to see Roman and Cody touch again against each other for like years down the line. The last wild card thing they could do is Solo wins the championship. Cody goes to Raw. Do some type of trade or something because now Roman's back. Roman's not getting the title back. That's done for. I don't know what you do with that, but say if this could be a story to separate Cody and Roman. Cody and Roman on one show is a lot, especially seeing that Roman's going to be a babyface because Roman's going to be the number one babyface, even though he's not there every single week. He is going to be the top face on SmackDown. Maybe they put Cody on Raw, and hell, he can absolutely vie and win the World Championship. And then you separate them. That's kind of, for me, more just thinking like down the line with what they do to them, because I really wonder what their relationship is like backstage. You let Cody Rhodes tell it, they haven't even talked since WrestleMania. Like, at all. Like, Roman wasn't in Gorilla when he got back there. Like, they have a really interesting relationship, and I wonder if it is just strictly competition or if it's more than that. And I think it's a little bit more than that because Brian Breaker came out a few weeks ago and said his mentors are Paul Heyman, Roman Reigns, and he named somebody else. And he said who's helped him tremendously.
It's possible that
Brian's a young guy, but so Roman's there to help Brian, but he ain't giving the guy with the keys to the kingdom no pointers or no attaboys or nothing.
Maybe they still in their really feelings from when he went and started All Elite.
I can't see that.
But maybe that, I mean, what else would it be?
Because everybody's making more money because of AEW. So I know that's not it.
Yeah. But I don't know. I mean, if you're saying you think that there possibly is some bad blood there, outside of you being number one and we're battling for that top position, who's going to carry this company, you would still want somebody, you would think that Paul Heyman would still want to help Cody. If he's helping Braun, you would think that he would want to still help Cody too, especially after Dusty and Paul. I don't know. I'm telling you, it has to be something of you left us and you started a whole nother company. Again, yes, I'm making more money. We are on the map even brighter and shining, even brighter than what you created. But you still left us and you kind of turned your back on us. You
Can it
came
just
back
be-
home.
Can it just be, they want to keep the perception that they're rivals and
Could
against
be
each
that
other?
too.
Like,
Could
right?
be.
Because
Yeah.
that is one of the biggest feuds that they've had. So I don't know if they want to
Right.
pull the curtain entirely back and say that, Cody and Roman hugged after the match. Like, I don't think they want to necessarily do that. Even at this point, they want to kind of keep a little distance between the two of them. I think there's that. And this, from what I've seen from the two of them, from a personality perspective, like, right, they just don't seem like the type of dudes that kind of get in those kind of like inks with each other. And then another thing, like, Roman ain't there. Like, right. So when you talk about like SmackDown, Roman's going to be the biggest. He will be, the 6 times a year that he's actually on the show. Like, right. So if you move Cody, what are you doing on the other, 2,000 episodes of SmackDown? If Roman's not going to be on 6
He
of them.
said 2,000.
He said 2,000.
Like,
it's
right,
52
like-
weeks in a year.
Like,
I got that Hogan math over
He's
there.
definitely got that
Who's
Hogan
your-
man.
who's your baby face? If you know what I'm saying, if when Roman go back on vacation.
LA Knight. Which, do we have anything to talk about that match outside of he's going to beat Logan Paul and Triple H don't get any smart ideas with this? Just do it.
Just do what we're supposed to do here.
Yeah, I said it for Money in the Bank with Brian, and I get it. They want to have him win it in front of 50,000 people at SummerSlam, but don't mess with this one. Put the belt on LA Knight. Do we think there's any chance LA Knight does not win the championship Saturday?
I told you I'm protecting my heart, so I'm gonna say yes. There's a chance.
Oh, that's right. I forgot about that.
Yep.
That's you.
Yep.
I wouldn't totally be against Logan Paul retaining the championship. I'll tell you why. Because they
Damn
can
it,
continue.
E.
They can continue the feud. Like, right, Logan Paul is
And you're
still
right.
over.
You're right.
Yeah, and then
You're
there's
right.
still money in him in LA Knight chasing for the title, especially if he gets screwed.
And
Right,
you
right,
think-
or
You think that we, are us borderline LA, us meaning like me, borderline fans, LA Knight fans, that we going to now keep interest in him if he loses again?
Yeah, because he could win at Bash of Berlin
And when is that?
Yeah.
September?
at the end of the month. At the
Okay.
end of August. Yeah.
Okay.
I think
Yeah,
you do it
'cause-
in front of 50,000 people to give him that moment and give him that
Okay.
shot.
I could give it that.
Yeah,
To
because
your point,
if
though,
look,
we've seen this
if
before.
if LA Knight gets screwed out of the championship, you think the people who like him are going to be like, oh yeah, F that dude? Like, no, they're gonna be like, this dude just got screwed. Like,
Mhm.
right? So as he continues to chase Logan Paul, right? I can see them stretching it out a little bit, right? Because who's his next challenger? What's next for Logan Paul? They can stretch it out a little bit longer if something screwy happened. Now, if Logan Paul, beats him clean in the middle of the ring, okay, that's something totally different. But I'm saying if like something screwy happened, one of his boys, pop up, run in, in a prime uniform again or something like
Yeah.
that, something like that, something screwy, like, yeah, they can push it out a little bit longer. So I can see them doing something like that if they wanted to extend it. I think I would like to eventually see LA Knight on top, like right with the championship. But I'll be okay if they extend it out a little bit longer. 'Cause I think they've had a nice feud so far.
I think we'll know by the time SmackDown ends what that is. I know he's got a segment
He is
in
who?
Cleveland. Logan Paul.
Logan?
Yeah, so I think we'll probably kind of know how SummerSlam is going to end by the time we see what that segment looks like. We also got Bianca and Jade finally catching up to the tag team champions, and all they do is cut promos backstage and laugh ever since they won the title. And they worked NXT, which is great, but
Oh my God.
it's the first match I've seen them. Maybe I've missed them. First match I've seen them since they won the damn title. So they've done nothing with them. It was a nice spot in their home country. Do we think Jade and Bianca wins the titles back the night before SummerSlam?
I don't think I care at this point. Well, yes, I want them to win it back because as of right now, this last, what has it been, a month and a half? When did they win it? Was it Money in the
What
Bank?
pay-per-view was that? No,
Was
the
that-
one before Money in the Bank.
Okay, so for 2 months now, they have really been the curse of the women's tag team titles. Like that's what I feel like. So yes, at least put it back onto somebody. My whole thinking was Bianca and Jade didn't need a championship because they are just goddesses in their own right, so they don't need anything to help. But like at this point, before we call it again the tainted women's tag team champions, you gotta make right with that. So yes, to answer your question, I would want Jade and Bianca to win it back.
I as well, but what if they do like a screwy finish, right? Where all of a sudden Jade turns on Bianca.
I'm okay with
right?
Too soon.
She turns on.
I'm okay
she
with
turns
that.
on Bianca.
Too soon.
Like right, because like I like the little dynamic, but they also, man, they seem really really friendly. Like right, go Queen.
Yeah.
You know all that stuff like that, right? So, but I mean, yeah, I definitely like to see them, Bianca and Jay win. And I always wonder, like, what is the hell? I like Isla a lot, but what does she be laughing about? Like, she's always laughing and giggling all day
She
long. Like, what is she
laughs-
laughing and giggling
She
about?
laughs as much as I thought they would defend the titles. That's how much she laughs.
God dog. God dog.
I'm gonna leave it at that. I'm gonna leave it at that. We also have on the pay-per-view. So let's talk Liv and Rhea. So we kind of talked. Rhodesia, your most favorite match. You're looking forward to. E, we talked about yours. Now let's talk about mine. We've been talking about this, so I don't have to belabor the point. But this would be my main event for sure if it wasn't, like I said, for the wild card of Roman returning potentially. But this, I think, is the best feud, even over Punk and Drew, from a standpoint of television time invested, along with the emotional investment just from pay-per-view cycle to pay-per-view cycle. Like, we've been trying to see Drew and Punk since January now. We really haven't been trying to see Liv and Rhea since then. We've been trying to see them since after Mania. So I think just if you look at those last 3 months, they've done an incredible job of getting everybody invested, getting the Judgment Day involved, Dom involved. But we're here now. Liv Morgan and Rhea Ripley. I guess my only question is there any shot? And they got me second guessing. So fantastic job, WWE. That Liv Morgan promo has me second guessing.
The most recent one?
Yeah, if her and Dom are still or actually in cahoots. So my question, I guess, to you two is there any way SummerSlam ends and Liv and Dom do not leave together with the Women's Championship?
Yes, because I think I was never fully sold on Dominic being in cahoots with Liv. I know that Liv was in cahoots with somebody, and I kept feeling that the energy was around Finn. So yes, there is a possibility in my mind that they do not leave together, Dominic and Liv. And just really quickly to your point about the best story, this one for sure has had the different layers to it, whereas the Drew and Punk is just a blood feud. We just want to kill each other. You know, yeah, you told some stories around it, but we just want to kill each other. It's really one dimensional in that aspect. Where this one, we've had so many people involved. And like you said, just even on TV, a lot of the segments we would see. So I would agree that this has been the best story that we've had. People can argue because it's over a guy and Liv has sexualized herself, but overall storytelling has been the best one for me. But yes, I think that it is a world where Liv leaves without Dom.
Yeah, I'm not as passionate about this one as you guys are. I enjoyed the story. I'm interested to see what happens next, to be honest with you. It can go either way. I think we definitely know that. So we know already that Rhea is a baby face, right?
Mm-hmm.
We know that Damien is also a baby face. You can tell.
For sure.
Mm-hmm.
Right? You can tell those two. So you know a turn's coming. We know that Dominic is a heel. Right? They can't be together with that dynamic. So something's gonna have to change. It could be something to how badly acted these Liv promos are. I feel like she's horrible, and she could be horrible on purpose, like right, because it's an act. I think there's something that's going to happen, and I think the catalyst is going to be Dominic in some type of way. Just because like the roles, they like the roads that they're going towards two different roads, like right, and we can see it. So something has to change. So if it doesn't happen at SummerSlam, we know it's going to happen soon, because I just don't see them when Dominic and Rhea do break up. I don't see it being a split that's nice.
Oh yeah,
right?
no,
And
non-amicable.
This is wrestling, so it got to be nasty and dirty. So we got a nasty and dirty situation already here that they can take advantage of. So why not lean into it? We'll see.
If if it's not Dom causing Liv to win, then it's got to be Finn.
Mm-hmm.
And they got a story they can tell there. I'll be happy either way. Rhea just can't leave SummerSlam with the title. Liv can't lose yet.
Yeah, I agree.
I really want Dom to turn on Rhea. And maybe that's what we see now. Maybe we see him turn and then Liv just gets the googly eyes because she thought Dominic wasn't there for her. And, we kind of get that story. But after watching that promo on Monday, it wouldn't make sense right now if they are in cahoots.
So, do you think Dom and Liv will leave together? If you had to say one way or the other?
Possible. Because I think this could be all a ploy with, they're trying to, give Rhea a false sense of security. That everything's good when it's not. Like, this is part of the plan. So I think there's a lot of options they can go either way. But I feel like we know the breakup is happening. We just don't know when and why. But this might be it. We haven't talked about it yet. I think it might be next. We got Gunther and Damian, right? Like, there's a turn coming with them within the same group. Like, we can't have both turns happen on the same night. Like, right? Because you can't play all the cards, because I feel like if let's say Dominic comes on before that match, right? And Dominic turns, okay. I feel like I'm guessing that we're going to get the other turn on him too.
You think so, huh?
I mean, like, why not?
Just because I still think the money is having Gunther win the title at Bash at Berlin. I don't think the money is having Priest lose yet. He just shouldn't lose yet. With the story they're telling, and I know that Gunther typically talks shit about everybody, he still wins. But that'd be some nasty business if my man Gunther come out and talk about you poor, you from the streets, and he still beats him for the title.
Hey, Matt, Booker T survived. He had a long career, baby.
Oh,
he had a long career,
Triple H
man.
said guys like you or people like you shouldn't win the title.
Hey, he had a long career afterwards, man.
God bless. So we can go there then. I'm still going with Damian. I think Damian has had a little bit of a snake-bitten title reign. The title reign has been underwhelming. It has.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And anybody who says it's not, they're lying. I don't care what Triple H has said on these press conferences. They have been. Every match, there's been some type of potential screw up or something that didn't go right. That's what you remember those matches by, outside of him just winning. I think they have a chance to give him like a statement victory. And then once again, he can lose it in a few weeks. Because if Gunther goes into Bash at Berlin as a champ, he's winning. So just let Priest win this one. Have Gunther use a grown man card or something and say, you beat me once, that's great on you, but anybody can win once. Let's see if you can do it. And maybe, you know what? Maybe Finn Balor causes Priest to beat Gunther after Damian has asked him to stay out of my business. Maybe that's what happens, because Gunther, beat down Finn on Raw after they won. And then maybe is where, to your point, then we get the turn of Finn Balor at Bash at Berlin, and he costs, Finn the title, or something happens to where, but regardless, Gunther gets the title around his waist. But maybe that's how this ends here. You can have a screwy finish because it's not ending the show. So you're free of having any type of DQ finishes or interference, and you're not gonna feel like you're slighted or screwed out of it because it's not the last thing to go on. So maybe that's what we get. We get some type of Finn Balor, interference that works on Priest, and he's just like, I didn't need your help. I don't want your help. Stay out of my business. And then it's like, all right, well, I'm going to stay out your business then. And then we're off to the races come next month.
I don't want to say or exempt Damian Priest from his lackluster championship run. But I also just want to just be mindful that this year, which felt a little bit different than maybe in years past, we had after Mania a lot of attention to the King and Queen of the Ring. And then we had a lot of attention to the Money in the Bank winner. And I just feel like the champions kind of fell to the wayside as far as trying to get over the King, Queen of the Ring and Money in the Bank. So again, not saying, hey, Damian, you don't suck. because your reign has been underwhelming. I just know for me, there was a lot of attention to who was going to be the king and queen and who was the Money in the Bank winners too.
I think that's primarily because Damian's reign just was so blah. And even he's doing a lot better, right? I think him fully turning babyface since Rhea's been back has really helped. I think that in between character he was playing, it just wasn't very good. And I think that's maybe what the direction was. Like he wasn't fully turned yet.
Yeah.
So he couldn't, he wasn't active. He wasn't trying to get the cheers, but he also wasn't really trying to get the boos.
Mm-hmm.
So I think it made his title run. Like I think if they would have linked more into where he is now, even without Rhea, I feel like he'd be better off. But if you think like I wonder in what world. I mean, certainly they can do it. So if Gunther doesn't win at SummerSlam, and we're gonna wait for a heel, a disgusting, nasty heel, to win in his hometown, like why would he get a rematch? Like, right? He's like if he loses, why would he get a rematch? Right? Now you also have the bloodline, the Judgment Day stuff brewing in the background, and I feel like something's gonna happen with one of those matches with the Judgment Day, right? Damian's dealing with all that. Then at the same time, he's dealing with Gunther and the hometown win. I guess it's a world where we can do it, and maybe he's distracted for the rematch with all the stuff going on, and that's when Finn turns. But I don't know. I just feel like it's kind of like he's kind of like in a lame duck situation right now with the championship. I feel like his reign's more like when does he lose it? Not like how does he keep it.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like, and like to me, I'm like, hey, just take the belt off of him, let him focus on Judgment Day business, because I feel like I'm more interested in that story and where that goes. And whenever you think about Judgment Day, whenever they do implode, like that Raw's gonna be missing a big factor in their TV, because like there's so many segments with Judgment Day, like throughout that 3-hour show. Like when they break up, like I can't really see Finn and his crew, and I could be wrong. I hope I am wrong, but the new Judgment Day with Finn as the lead, like I don't see him carrying all those segments alone like they did collectively with Rhea and Priest and everybody else.
Is it just me? And I was just thinking about that as you were talking, and when I made the comment right before you started talking. Besides Liv's title, has any of the titles been feeling good to y'all? Like I feel like all of the champions have kind of just been underwhelming for me since Mania. No, all of them.
Cody's hasn't. He's done a really good job with his title.
Bailey, we know either she's hot or cold as far as people liking her. Either they like her reign or they hate her reign. The women's tag teams,
there's been focus on Bailey's though.
Sammy's reign has been good.
And they focus on his, but I get what you're saying about Liv and Damian for sure, because the focus hasn't been the title defenses.
It's been the title.
It's been about the stories that they're in, and that's what I'm saying about what they continue to have these championships. Like, right, they kind of seem like they're just there for decoration, because the focus isn't on isn't on them defending championships. Like with Liv, they try to give her like Selena, but we already know what it is with Selena. Like, right, she's great in every segment. She was great again, I thought, on the Raw.
She was. Yep.
Right, but she's not. We know she's not a threat. So when she went to go challenge Liv, we knew.
Hey,
she said she was, but we know what it is. We know what it is, right? So I think that's what you're talking about. I think it's just like it's been some more story heavy with these guys.
Mm-hmm. I've enjoyed it from a television perspective. It's been good. From a putting importance on the belts, maybe not, but we'll see what that looks like coming out of SummerSlam. And then the last match, which is the IC title match, Braun.
Do we know who's right? Do we know who's in this?
But we know it's at least Braun and Sammy. Any chance Braun loses this one too? I'm going no. Of course, I'm going Braun Breaker with the title and put the rocket strap on him.
I thought Sammy should not have won it at Mania, so I'm going to just keep riding that. Now, the question would be, if Ilya is introduced into this match, is he going to be just the person who's going to take the pin? It's something about Ilya when right before he got called up, I'm like, this guy, he just got some buzz around him, and he's not in
that match. He ain't in that match. Sorry to cut you off. I'm just thinking like he's on Raw. Unless something happens on a pre-show Saturday.
Yeah.
Ain't no spot for him putting
So
him in
okay,
this match.
so then I'll stop my comment there and I'll say Braun has to win. I do not want Sammy holding it still. And he proved me wrong. He went off on the people who said that I shouldn't have won. Remember right after Mania when he won, he told me
he was talking right
a few
to you,
words.
too.
But
sure did.
Yeah, give it to Braun. Let's see what young fella can do with it.
Yeah.
And on that note, that's how we're going to end the podcast. Well, we out, man. We gave y'all all we had today. We gave you all we had today. We know you guys appreciate it. Hey, we love you guys. Of course, y'all know where to follow us. That's FNW on Twitter. YouTube, That's Freaking Wrestling, twice a week. Videos go up. And as I always say, tell a friend, tell a friend, tell a family member. Y'all know we the best. Let everybody know that we are the best. We'll be back on Sunday. Brandon's going to be joining us. Long-time listeners of the pod. Know Brandon. He pops in and pops out. I think last time we had Brandon on was night 1 and night 2 of Mania, right? Wasn't he on for Mania?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, yep. So he pops in only for the major shows. He did tell me today he's going to get a haircut. He's going to look pretty for us.
Aw.
That's what he said. So
he's going to have the finest bourbon with him.
Yeah. Well, we go on pod on Sunday morning. So I don't know if he wants to, have the bourbon. But we will drop that pod. We may even get that to you guys on Sunday because it is a SummerSlam review pod. Maybe so we would like to get those out as quick as possible.
Maybe afternoon.
And he just said maybe afternoon. So I guess it'd be out Sunday afternoon for you guys. So we will be back. Hopefully we talking Roman Reigns return. We talking Liv, and we got a lot. So I'm looking forward to this show. This is, for me, the most I've been excited for a WWE show since WrestleMania. So I hope it delivers on every way. So I didn't ask, but I'm sure the answer is simple. Excitement level 1 to 10. Are we all around that 8, 9, 10 area for the show?
Yeah. I think so. I have other things on my mind right now, but I think
if
so.
You gotta think.
No,
that's
I
no.
think so.
No,
Does
if
it?
you
No,
gotta
there's
think. That's a no.
No,
I gave you a spectrum of 8 to 10. I didn't say just 10. So that means you're a no. E, where you at?
Oh, I'm at a 10 because I know at the end of the night we're gonna see Roman Reigns holding Cody Rhodes' arm way up to the sky, y'all. I can't wait.
How things have changed. We'll talk to y'all on Sunday.